family. We're live.
Okay.
We're a little early, but we're ready for Del Mar. In fact, I got to get my screen here, get onto the Del Mar signal so I can watch this stuff.
Oh yeah, 31 minutes. All we're seeing right now is the beach.
Oh, that's it.
That's what's all. That's
well,
what's on the feed.
I just want to get in a visual sense. That's good. It'll help me, help my. Especially been here. It's been 105, 107, 113. It's been a little bit crazy temperature in Arizona. I'm jealous of the Del Mar right now.
Yeah, well, you saw the cancellations. Woodbine canceled yesterday. Woodbine canceled today.
Oh, because of the heat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laurel was going to cancel, but they just posted that they're going to run with caution. Delaware canceled. Ellis canceled.
Everyone's canceling.
Colonial canceled.
Yeah, I saw Colonial. We had a couple of horses there.
We moved our post on Wednesday and Thursday to a later time.
Crazy, hasn't it?
Yeah. And here we probably would have been fine because it wasn't as hot as they projected, but it's just such a gross type of heat. It's not Arizona heat.
Right.
Arizona heat, you walk outside, you know instantly, you're like, it's hot, get back in. Come on, immediately. Yeah. Here it's like you go out and you're like, okay, it's hot, it's fine, and then like 5 minutes later, you're like, I feel kind of weak.
It takes so much out of you.
Humidity, it just it
takes so much out of you. It's so true.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to another version of our live streaming, summer streaming. We're just going to do Del Mar tonight. Just try to work our schedules out so that we can do this. And Emily, could you have a week like you had last week, though? Is that possible? I mean, you were on fire. And
I will try. I knew that sequence when I tweeted it out. I worked pretty hard on that card. That card took me longer than it typically takes.
I just
knew there were so many opportunities. There were so many opportunities in there. There were competitive races, and there were horses that were going to be under the radar of even the spread, even the tickets that were going to spread. Hi Charles. Hi Jeff. Thank you for joining. See you in the chat.
Hey guys.
So we'll see. This is not as it's just a different type of sequence.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
So let's dive in. First race. We're 28 minutes late. Maybe we could come up with a quick pick five. A lot of information, so someone could put the pick five together here.
Let's do it.
What's your approach on a race like this, Emily? Because when I look at this race, you see that there's four horses that can't even plot on surface distance, right? You got some firsters in here. It's a mixed bag. I always like trying to look at, like we did last week, which was kind of fruitful, kind of look at a race where a lot of horses weren't running to par, so to speak, and kind of left it open and for maybe a viable for a firster. I don't know if we have a viable firster in this race, but it's something to look at. Just when you see the field, again, just for people that are not familiar, we have this OptixEQ range, which kind of estimates what we think based on the way these horses have been running, what they could run. And you can see it's 74 to 82. Now, if you go all the way to the right, you can see some of the pars for some of these horses have been in upper 80s, low 90s. Typically for made special 3-year-olds and upward around 90, maybe a little below. So they're all below par. So that's why you just kind of automatically gravitate to some firster or something like that in a sequence like this. That's at least I normally do. And then I think the other thing with this type of race, 5 furlongs turf, you have to have speed. Typically with Del Mar, that 5 furlongs, that quadrant 1 is kind of important. Horses that can kind of get a lead, an early lead. So, that's something to also consider. And having experience at 5 furlongs is an important thing. There's some horses that just don't. The 3 doesn't have any turf experience. Well, yeah, one turf race wasn't that good. The 1 is coming out of routes. I guess the last one was a sprint, but with 6.5 furlongs, a different race, not a 5.5 furlong race. Only 5.5 furlong race on dirt wasn't that good. It was way back when. So there's a lot of question marks for me. And the one thing I was kind of intrigued by in looking at this race, we talked about it before, was this number 2, which looks like a horse that, when you first look at this race, looks like an automatic toss. But there was a note in here, and it kind of got me interested. I know you took the note, and I just want you to kind of maybe talk about this horse a little bit. The number 2, what was it? Gratian, I don't know, 7.
Grenation 7-6.
Grenation 7-6. Okay.
What is that, a religious thing? Sounds like a religious thing.
I don't even know. I don't even know what it is.
Okay. I've never heard of it. That's why I was like, I've never heard of it. It must be a religious thing. It's a process of elimination.
Well, I have 12 years of education in Christianity and Judaism. I don't know it either. So it must be some other. If it is, it's some other religion.
All right. Yeah. So this one was it was a weird note. And I almost missed the close because I went back and I had to watch the head on because I saw the horse broke slow. I'm trying to read the extended comment. Broke slow, and then he was like green behind horses, and I just, because he was so far out, I couldn't see what this horse was, like if he was taking kickback or if he's crooked or anything. So when I'm watching the head on, I'm just trying to like look at this horse just for any type of signs, and I see this horse turn the corner and come to the stretch, and I was like, oh my god, this horse is closing, like he's making a huge close. And I'm like, okay, and it's something you cannot see looking at that running line. And then when the plot came up, I'm like, okay, well, that validates it that this horse he can finish, he can close. And he's been off since April, has some steady works, has a bullet back on July 1st at Santa Anita, 46. Not out of the gate, but just pretty fast, half-mile move. They worked he did work a 46 from the gate on July 23rd. And just there could be just so much upside. They're putting the blinkers on. No, they're not overboard. Just a horse you have to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's 10-1 right now.
Yeah, which is he's being bet essentially. That's what I look at, because that's way off from his morning line. I think his morning line was 20, wasn't it? Oh no, it was only
8-1. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, man, I thought this was. I mean, I thought it would be a bigger price, but some of those workouts, based on somebody I know who watches workouts, they're all out. But who cares? I mean, this is a 5 furlong race, right?
Yeah.
If you can get to the lead in a 5 furlong race, there's always a chance, especially like this, this turf course. So, yeah, I mean, I just think it's an interesting horse at, like you said, a big price, and in a race where, like we talked about, just quickly. I mean, like I said, the one couple of things we don't like about the one, right? I mean, coming out of route races, a lot of red. I mean, I'm just going to do simple handicapping here, and a ton of losses below today's level, right?
Yeah, and he's a 5-year-old, so it's not like there's a whole lot of upside with this guy.
Yeah, exactly. The 3, ran good speed figures, big improvement, way off a left, but now on the grass, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to trust that horse. I know it's O'Neill, but
it's kind of cold on the board right now, 9-2.
Yeah. The 4, this horse, has got upside because age progression, right, Emily?
Yeah.
Ran that race as a 2-year-old, so I can see this horse being a horse you want to use.
And currently being bet is 3-1 favorite right now.
Yeah. The 5 Firster, I don't know. I don't know much about. Let's look at the raw works of this horse, but I don't know if you had a chance to watch this one. It's kind of slow works if you're going to run a 5 furlong race. I typically just don't like the number of works. When a horse, a Firster, where like they've been working out forever. I just view that as a negative. Almost like
I couldn't find any works on this one to watch.
Okay. Yeah, I just view that as a negative, just the amount of workouts. Somebody told me.
Mullins is
I'm not going to mention a name, but he was an assistant trainer to somebody, and he told me this is a way to string the owners along a little bit. I'm not saying it's the case here, but I'm just it made a little sense to me, actually. The 6 lost below the level on dirt. I don't know. It's Peter Miller. So is this horse taking any kind of money? No. The 7.
No, not at all. Peter Miller's also kind of been a little cold.
The 7's got the speed figures, but
Has a B at the level.
Yeah.
7-2. I
okay.
think that one makes the most amount of sense, like safe on the safer side, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so. And then the 8 is another horse that maybe with projection, because he ran a pretty decent number comparatively to this field, sprinting on the turf. So I don't know. He has lost below the level, but maybe I don't know how this horse is working. This is kind of slow.
9. Which one?
The 8.
Oh, the 8. Okay.
Yeah. And then the 9 is a firster. I don't know.
O'Neill has 2. I would give this one a look over the other one. I mean, the other one we know what we're going to get from that one. They haven't tried the turf. We don't have a turf keyword. Right. Probably going to get the bulk of the attention. It's a 4-year-old, not much progression. The 9, Fresu, I don't know how to say that, but that guy can ride. He's very good. And he's already had live mounts for O'Neill. So just as kind of the newer pace, 6-1.
Okay. So I think you look at the firsters, that long shot, the number 2 is a possibility. So we're talking about spreading here. 7 look logical in this spot. Yeah. So
so it looks like 9. Looks like 9-7-2 if we're trying to take on the 4.
Yeah.
The 4 is fine. It's just, I mean.
Yeah, 4 is fine. Yeah. How's that 4 working? Anything jumping out here?
Wow. I went back. I think I remember watching him work before his debut. I have all my notes in like a different.
That's a pretty slow work out of the gate.
Yeah. Glad also, I think, has been kind of on the slower side, just with some horses. And when I say that, because I know, John, you and I understand what I'm saying, but everybody looks at the numbers and they'll look at like the win percentage. But when it's a barn that's had a bunch of horses that are supposed to be winning, and when they're kind of underperforming, I would still call that cold, even if the barn is hitting the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Going on to race 2. This is another firsters. I don't know. I just have a feeling about this race. I may be completely off, but I think the 4 might. And this is the same trainer jockey combination as the 2 in race 1. I'm thinking this 4. Just I looked at the works of the horses, the raw, and talked
second. Very solid second choice in the doubles.
Yeah, I think here's a race where I just have no real strong opinion about, and I might consider actually singling the 4 in this race. That's second choice. I just kind of look at the works. I looked at somebody who watches these horses. This one looked pretty good. This guy doesn't run a lot of horses like firsters, but when he does, if they take action, they're usually live.
Mendez. This is his game. Is the juveniles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is where he does most of his success, is with these younger juvenile runners.
Yeah, it's just I just look back over the years.
Used to struggle here at Del Mar. Was really good, like in the springtime with like those shorter races, would be like win early, and then coming into this meet would struggle. But in the last couple of years, he's figured it out. So very capable.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions about other opinions about this race?
I think I wrote about every horse in this race just because it was kind of a wild card race. That's why I don't really see any reason to single, like, makes sense, because if you're going to start to spread, you're going to miss the horse that you spread with. The 8, the 8, it might be one you try to take on, just because this one does look like they're going to be favored, and the note that other is very key, especially because it's something that's not going to come up in the past performances. Is that this horse is flashing their tail in response to the stick, and also being shown the whip. Yeah. So Yeah, so expecting some of those others to show speed, and this horse is pretty negative to the whip, that they drop in for the tag. Just kind of some negative. So, one that you could maybe try to take on. The 5 is the other one that's taking money. First time.
It's Miller, and Barber, right? So.
Well, Miller has 2 though, doesn't he? Yeah, he has 3 and 5.
Yeah, this is the big owner here on the con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's, you're right. I mean, it's kind of race. What sucks about this race is you can go all and catch it 2 to 1, 3 to 1. So in a race like this, if I'm going to play like a pick 4, pick 5, I'd probably watch him, especially if it's a pick 4 and this is the first leg. Probably watch him on the track, and if the 4 looks good, then I may just single that one. That would be my approach. But I know there's other approaches. So let's go to race 3. Another race where a lot of horses haven't run this far, this 11 furlong, and what's your thought on this race, Emily? Because I have kind of an opinion about somebody,
my opinion is because it is one that there's not a lot of horses that have run the distance, and so I think the 2 is going to get a lot of attention because it's one of the horses that has run the distance, so it feels kind of like the safer option. But his current form is a little suspect.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I think there's other ways to go. The 5 I know is the morning line favorite, but I think this horse is just a good horse. Yeah. Even though they haven't gone the distance, like every note, I mean, this horse should have already had 2 wins by now. So it just might be the kind of the quote unquote best horse. And then the
4, can I because we just stay on the 5 for a second, because I want to make a comment about the 5, and I think the notes are great because I just want to point out what I think, why it was interesting to me. Here's a horse that pretty much is a deep closer, right? Going 8, 9 furlongs, and then like the last 2 races, they kind of asked this horse for speed, like rush, right? I mean, bad start in this race, but they just wanted to get to the lead in this other race here, and I'm just wondering, like, the more distance, because this horse looks kind of like a horse that probably maybe a little plotty, but can probably run longer. I'm just thinking he's probably a balanced kind of runner. And I think, with today, with a race going this long, it'd probably be an easier pace for him. When you kind of look at the plot, there's really not a lot of pace in this race. And I'm just thinking this is a horse that maybe could, is that?
Sorry, my you're hearing yourself because my thing just went on. Sorry, keep talking. That there might not be a lot of speed. Yes,
not my speed, and I don't think he's going to have to work that hard to get to the front, or be forward and just keep going. And he's like you said, he's got good, really no red, got class. I just think I like him too, but I don't know what you thought about the 4 was another one I thought.
That's where I was going to go next.
All right, go ahead.
Still go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. You got.
Well, the 4 is one that, let me get to my notes here, that he's actually finding class relief from those local starts, and that class change just moves him up. And so he looks like his running lines make him look like he's off form, but he's not off form at all. He's in form. He's just not in the right spot.
He's not in the right spot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, the way I would play this race, I'd just be going 4, 5, and that's it. I just use 2, right? Yeah. I think, okay. Race 4.
Race 4, I did like a single in here.
Oh, did you? I was like 4 horses in here. I just went with squares basically, but which is the horse?
Oh, one of those is a square. It's the 4.
The 4.
It just seems like this horse should win this race. If this horse doesn't win this race, it's.
This should be an investigation.
Well, no, not like that. Just in terms of intent, they've run this horse, been in against tougher, run well here at Del Mar, has had those subtle trips, is second off the layoff, protected last out, had trouble at the start. The fact that they're just dropping for the first time back here at Del Mar just shows intent. I don't think it's like one of those suspicious drops. I just think it's one of those, we're here at Del Mar and we want to win.
Yeah.
And this is the group that this horse should beat in this race. And a horse that's not favored. Somebody in the chat will tell me if I'm wrong again, but yeah, it could be the third choice in here, and yeah, just value.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, I wouldn't, and nothing to add other than, like I said, I mean, I would consider, the other squares 2, 6, and 8, but I'm okay with, what I like to do sometimes with this kind of approach in the pick 5. If I'm playing a pick 5, Emily, like I would key maybe the 4, and then have another ticket where if I'm keying some other leg, I would include the 2, 6, and 8 in that, and then maybe try to hit it, a couple of times that way.
Yeah.
So if I'm right, on both ends of my, let's say, if I single the 4 in race 2, and then, if that horse wins, then I have a little bit more coverage, and then I get it a couple of times with the 4. So that may be, an approach that I. Anything else about this? We're getting close, so might as well just finish it, right?
Yeah, we got one more. There was a good notes horse in race 5, I thought, that was worth a mention.
Okay.
The 11.
Yep.
Just looks like kind of a bingo. They tried to debut this horse on the turf. Didn't work out. Had to get a race before Del Mar. Ran wide, looks like a turf horse, had the outside post. And then the spot, second time starter, Smith Cassidy. They've teamed up with many live runners.
Oh yeah. Cassidy and a lot of the long shots over the years, right, Emily?
Yeah.
Who was that? Was it, when was it, Sunday, or was it yesterday, that 9-1 shot? Like
that was yesterday. Tom Horn, the 11. Yeah.
So
how about that?
I mean, that's a great, those are great notes, and great notes. They pop too. I mean, the way we kind of have them there, they have those greens and reds and stuff, things like that pop. So that's a great one.
There was a couple others that
I heard this horse was working really well since the debut up at Del Mar.
Yeah, that was the other horse I was going to mention. Yeah. That horse makes a lot of sense. That horse ran in that June 10th race, the race that Granny's IPA scratched out of. And there's a rider change after a tactic minus. That's always a positive. Gonzalez does land on Maxville, and I thought this horse was a little interesting. The 1, just because both those notes are kind of sneaky positive. Broke slow against the flow, and then they were wide. It's another tactic minus. Winner was from off the pace, and now they're going to stretch out. But those were basically like the 3 to key around for me.
All right. But what about the? No, I had a note here on myself. Oh, the 8 is
first time
starter. Yeah.
I mean, Powell's been sending out live runners, so sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so I think we did. That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Painless. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good information, but I mean, I think it was well done, family. Kind of got through that pretty quickly. Some people will be still in the first race.
Well, it makes it a lot easier when you have those notes done.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And you handicapped them, right? You're not, it's right or wrong. It's it's our philosophy and our process. So it's not like, we're trying to come up with something new for for each race, right? And it keeps you from, just getting your mind all muddled with other people's picks or ideas and stuff like that. Because that's the one thing, pick a lane, stay in your lane, see if you can get success in your lane before you kind of deviate out. And sometimes you get too much information, it's overload, and it's not effective.
Well, the time that you're really using other people's information is just when you're looking at the board, right? Because that's when they're expressing their opinion.
That's true. But I mean,
did I say that right?
Okay. But the thing is like you're supposed to be handicapping that way. It's like you're handicapping.
Oh yes, projecting. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like that's a big thing. Like I don't care if this was going to win or lose. I want to know what other people take going to be on a situation, like a bias. How are they reading this, right? One thing I've heard so far, a lot of people, it's like Ellis, because Ellis did have maybe a couple of days. I don't know. I wasn't following it. I trust the guy that's following it first. But I think the thing was, it was biased. So every day it was biased. Unless you're watching each race and understand the situation that's going on, you just can't default to that. It's just dangerous, right?
It was at Ellis. It was for those.
Yeah,
first
it was. Not every day.
Strong. Yes, it was every day for those first couple of weeks. Absolutely.
Well, it's been going. It's not over, Ellisburg. I mean, they're still running there.
No, I know, but those first couple weeks, it was biased.
Yeah. But but you just can't. The point is, you can't default to anything. You have to. You have to have context, right? Yeah.
There was, and it's with stats. It's with stats as well. There was a stat like last week about, I forget who it was, like the two trainers with Clarier and Nest, and like how they'd performed with like graded stakes horses, and it was like small samples on both, and it's just like that is like the wrong thing to even be looking at, to be comparing the trainer stats.
Yeah, I know.
In graded stakes.
Yeah, I know.
Of those two horses, like if that's like, no, that's not where we are brain, that's just like, there's no context. And if you go back through and you look at the charts and all those horses, it's like, this is a stat that's like not even applies to anything. And then it's like, just handicap the horse race. Nest has a pace.
I mean, the biggest thing.
Clary has the better horse. Nest has a pace advantage.
Exactly. Right. And there were different places in their form cycle, right? So it was that the pace advantage overcame, the form cycle and the class issues in that race. So
yeah.
And it'll be interesting though going forward and see if Nest has another gear, because it's going to need that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Could she improve off of that race? I don't, possibly, but she did get the right trip and a great ride. Subtle ride there with the floating by Irad, I thought, and coming off the turn there. I thought that was pretty good. And but it was exciting. I mean, it's so good to see those rivalries, it's great. And maybe later we'll look at the Jim Dandy. It's a small field. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see what we think about that race. Another really short field, but I think a pretty competitive field. I mean, I think pretty much anyone could win. But
if you're gonna have a field of 5, that's how it should look. Where every horse in there has a chance to win, and in order to win, they're all gonna have to ride their horse. Every single one.
This other thing too, with people like, it was like there were never 5 or 6 horse fields in the old days. There were, and graded stakes. There was. I mean, there really was. I remember going to a race where there was only one horse in the race. It was a spectacular bid. So, I mean, it did happen back then. I know we have selective memory sometimes, but it did happen back then. I thought that was an interesting. I watched that On the Wrong Leaf a little bit yesterday, that podcast.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know where I stand on it, but I thought it was just interesting that they brought it up about the number of grade 1s. The guys on the podcast thought there were too many grade 1s, right? That they should be more special. Like, there's, I don't know if they said 100 and should be 25. And I was like, interesting, right? Make those grade 1s even more important. It's something to think about. I don't know if it, what matters, what it really matters in the long run, but I thought it was just kind of interesting. And, maybe if that was the case, maybe there would be more focus on particular races, more so than horses maybe skipping because they can get a soft grade 1 versus on better. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just something interesting.
I agree. I thought it was an interesting point as well. And then some of the races, like, following Oaklawn Park, like some of those listed stakes will be like 500,000.
Yeah. 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 You
go to come to Santa Anita, it's like a $100,000 grade 2.
See, I'm big into the qualifying type of thing, and I don't mean winning you're in kind of stuff. Even though that's okay, I'm not bashing that. It's better than nothing. But I mean, what makes the Kentucky Derby so compelling is, they have to run these races, they have to qualify, and they have to get in, and then they go through the sequence, the Triple Crown sequence. I like that. I would love to see that with older horses. That would be real interesting. They used to have that years and years back. They tried it 1 year. I thought it was successful, and they abandoned it. I get, it's just, I think it becomes a turf war, like what race is more important, who gets control of how it's marketed and all the rest. That's why it falls apart, because you got these competing, I assume, tracks and entities and whatever. But I really would love to see a series. I think you'd be getting more fans that way. I think it would be more interesting.
Real quick, because they're heading to the gate. Charles wants to know who you particularly like in race 1.
Yeah, I particularly like
2.
I kind of like the 2. Yeah, I do like the 2 the best. I mean, I just think it's worth a shot. I just love the way they're working this horse out, and I just think they're going to go for it. If they can clear, they got a big shot. And I'll take 9-1.
And if they don't, we know they can close.
Yeah.
just don't be 50 some odd lengths back is all. Trying to make it close.
I am. By the way, I'm going to do a green report, but I'm going to just cover the last 5 races tomorrow. So if you got a silver plan, I'm going to send that out, and I do kind of take an opinion on a pick 5. Just kind of a strategy. Idea based on like how I want to approach the races. So,
where are you talking? Where are you going to do that at?
So it's going to be part of the silver plan. I'm going to send that out tomorrow.
I know, but what tracks?
I'm sorry, Saratoga, Jim Dandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I got to do the tracks that I cover because I'll be lost anywhere else.
I don't know. I got you covered at Del Mar. I think you could.
Yeah, it's true. I could fall right in. That's not a problem. I don't want to embarrass you, but I pick up your stuff, and I still think Gulfstream, Southern California, and New York are like, where I really feel comfortable best. I do my best. Okay, they're in the gate. So the break is huge here, guys. Maldonado is a good gate rider, so I'm expecting him to get this horse out. Nope.
Not bad, though. At least they're trying. Like I said, at least we're not 50 lengths back.
Oh, well, he's making a move. The Chicklets has him about 10th. That's a 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I thought he was
No, he's sitting on the inside, has run, making a middle inside move.
Yeah, run this horse.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's getting out.
Little bit.
Yeah, he's green.
He can run, though. We know he can close. This guy can close.
Come on, wear him down.
Come on, Maldonado. Come on, Maldonado.
Wear him down,
there
Maldi.
you go. You got this horse. Come on. Come on with this closing square. Get up over this one. Get up.
Get up.
Get up.
Oh, yeah. Bingo. That goes the highlight reel, Emily.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Enjoy it. I'm not going to do any better than that one.
Yeah. Oh shit, man. I'll tell you, it's not. I have to get myself hyped up to watch fill up the grid, with Turf Paradise, Pleasanton.
Yeah, I know.
Presque Isle, but I'm doing Hawthorne.
So I don't have it. I don't have what you have, but what I have is we didn't do Monmouth, we don't do Finger Lakes. And there's another track that I've been getting a lot of, and then I get Europe because I get the turf races, the big turf races. So it's I got a lot of that at Saratoga, always trying to stay in, and it's busting my ass not to miss, because it's sometimes I just miss one because I'm doing some other stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, I missed that one race, God, But yeah, I've been trying to fill in all those as we go along.
Because I mean, I'm sure I'll open up Twitter right now and it'll just be like, oh, this horse, gets beat 50 lengths on debut, and it's like, go back and watch it, man. Like,
there must have been something. Yeah, I mean,
that horse could run. He was green and he broke slow, and then he showed. I mean, like I said, I almost missed it because he's so far off the screen. I had to go back. I've never seen watch the head on.
I've never seen a horse that far back in my life. I swear, like in a 6 furlong race. I don't think without like. I mean, he had trouble, and then I'm watching him, and he like looks green. It looked like, I don't know if it was like there was some kickback, but it looks like a car was driving down the side of the road and kicking dirt, and it was windy that day too. It was like the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And then, right, I mean, and I'm looking at this, and the reason I went back, I'm like, because I saw your note, right? I looked at it and it said close, and I'm like, close. And then I look at your note, and I'm like, wait a second, something's that. This is weird. And then I looked at the plot, and I'm like, this is more. There's more here than there looks.
Yeah.
So it was the plot plus the note that got me interested, and then then looking at the works. So it's never you got to be kind of creative in this game. That's for
yes,
sure.
You do.
And the fact that the race, the Optics figurines didn't match the par, so we knew it was a weak field, and somebody like that could win in a race like that, no matter what. Wide open. All right, good job, Emily.
Nicely done.
Okay, let's go to race 2. There's another. Hey, but what do you want to take a look at the Jim Dandy while we're here?
Sure.
Or we got any questions we want to?
No, we got a couple nice calls, and that's great. Yeah, we can look at it.
Okay. It's the Okay, so you look at this plot, you see this, the 4 has a major pace advantage, right? It's 5-horse field. But typically, and that's okay, I mean, this horse is a circle. And if you look over at the notes on this horse, I got him as a dual grid. I thought he ran a really good race in the Dwyer. They really laid it down. And look at my note. I don't know if you've seen this. It says top 2 colts laid it down. This has a future as a one-turn runner. Maybe will be pointed to Alan Jerkins at the spot. So I missed that. I mean, obviously the connections know the horse better than I do, but that's where I would have pointed the horse. But that's okay. So he's going to run in a 9 furlong race. And I just think when you start looking at like pace and races that are classic distances, I kind of fall more to class. In those situations than just trying to look at, is a horse going to run a really good graded stakes field off their feet? And that's what he would have to probably do. Like you don't see him like sitting. I don't see this horse like sitting like on a soft pace and then re-breaking, right? And trying to outbreak Disarm or Forte or anything.
Yeah.
So this horse got to go fast. And I just don't see like, unless he's a freak and, could be, I just don't believe that right now, but let's say he's a freak and he does that fine. He beats me. And the way I'd be playing a pick 5 is I'll use him like defensively on a backup ticket where I got like strong opinions in some of the other legs. And that's the way I'm going to lay it out. But for me, I mean, this race I'm just going 1-2. I mean, I just got to trust the information. You got like I think the 1 and the 2.
Well, and I mean, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one more thing, just in terms of the pace, like I mean, the plot looks like that. Because that horse has kind of the early speed. I know it's a green plot fit, but I don't see them going to try to wing it. I think they're going to try to rate.
Yeah.
To try to have something late, and the chance that they could win would be to gun it and try to run the field off their feet. I just don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to try to, Florent Giroux, probably another part of that reason, is going to rate. And you can see that even though the contention is a snowflake, the speed rate is an 80, and you have those horses above the par line. So I don't think there's going to be that much separation between the 4 and the 1, 2, or 3 at all. I don't think there's going to be separation.
Yeah, well, if they take that tact, I think they have no chance to win. That's
Yeah.
But what was the horse that Cox had though? That was running everybody off their feet. Oh man.
Yeah, but that's such a different horse. I know who you're talking about. There's they have a stakes named after him. But he was with Ben Colebrook first.
He won the Breeders' Cup.
And then Brad Cox, he won the freaking Breeders' Cup twice, I think.
No, once I think he lost to that.
Come on, chat. You know who we're talking. Oh no, but then he won like the Pegasus or something.
Yeah.
Come on, chat. You know who we're talking about? The Brad Cox horse that's fast that would go to the front and run the horses off their feet. I know everybody in the chat is. There's 2 words.
You're screaming at us, you idiots.
There's 2 words in the name. I can't think of it.
Oh man. Anyway, so they're not like adverse to doing it.
Chad is letting me down. Yeah. Well, I know, but that was such a.
I know he was such a but I don't know. I forget his name. Something. You gotta look it up. We gotta look it up. Just look at Breeders' Cup.
Knicks go. Thank you, Scott. Bail us out. We're getting embarrassed over here.
Embarrassing.
Thank you. Yeah, embarrassing. Knicks go. That was 2 words. Knicks go. That horse is not this horse. I mean, this horse is good, but he's not that horse. That horse is.
Oh no, I'm just but I'm just saying they're not opposed to maybe taking that tact. I would take that tact. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have this horse in this race, but I guess they're taking their shots.
No, I think that would be their best chance to win. I just think they're going to rate because they're going to be like, oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to get the 9 furlongs, and we better save something for the end, and
So anyway, that's that's the whole race right there. So, I'm not a big fan of Angel of Empire, because you figure, well, if Cox, if the Ford kind of comes back, Angel of Empire is going to close. This horse's late pace figures are not strong, and I just think he benefited from a lot of those races where he kind of got flow. And I think this arm really is interesting to me, especially if you're saying that Ellis Park was not closing. I don't know. We don't have a bias thing that day, but he closed to win the Matt Win. This horse really. I mean, I'm just going to go to his grid for a second. I mean, this horse hasn't run a bad race. He's kind of just on the improve.
And he's improving. Every race he's getting faster.
Yeah.
He's getting better. And he's always been good. He just kind of was one of those horses that even at the Kentucky Derby when Steve Asmussen was like, I don't know what his words were. I think they're a little bit more crude than what I'm about to say, but he was focused on the ladies. And he seems a little bit more focused on the race.
A little studdish.
Yeah, a little studdish. So yeah.
Yes, I like him a lot. I mean, he would be my play if I was betting to win, obviously, because Forte is going to take money. But I would not include Forte. He's just a good horse. He just never really runs a bad race. He's kind of odd, though. He's just I don't know. It's always something with him, right? It just seems like it's always something. But he's classy. I would include him. Hit show, I think, just kind of got. He did good in the Belmont. It's just kind of one race. I don't know. I just think he's got the benefit of some trips. Talked about Saudi Crown and Angel of Empire. I'm just 1-2, and for my pick 5s and a 4 just in case on a backup ticket where I'm tight on everything else. Just in case they do try to run the field off their feet. That's my opinion of Jim Vanity. Any other opinions out there?
Tell me if you have an opinion. I see it the same way. I mean, there's 5 horses in here. I would be willing to take a stand with this arm, just like the way that he's coming into this race, a progressive type, has the right running style. He's got an inside draw, so he'll be able to save ground, look to get first run. Rosario's been riding much better.
Much better.
For Asmussen.
Yeah, I got to be.
So that's not a.
I've been critical of him, so I have to give him credit. He's been mucho improved since the spot. Yeah. So yeah, that's a Jim Dandy. Another race kind of. I don't like.
Well, we got. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just a different approach to handicapping. You start with something that we know is different than probably what's out there publicly, and then go from there, right? This is like, instead of everything's situational, you try to handicap and find something with your information that you can use, where maybe the public will see things differently, right? That's like, I don't know what the talk is, but I just watched the show last night, and these guys were very high on Saudi Crown, and I was like, and then Angel of Empire, obviously he could come running late. I mean, I think one of the three guys was kind of negative on him, but for the most part, they were, that's the other one, and I'm like, kind of like a little bit contrarian to that. So I think this pick 5 sequence, even though some of the fields are short and the prices could be short, I still think there might be value in it if you kind of structure it right. So we'll see. Check it out. Go to the website and you can buy the silver point, and it'll be in. My information will be in there. Yeah, again.
Have you looked at the Del Mar stakes?
No, I haven't. You want to look at that?
Well, how about after the second?
Okay, let's get back to the second.
We're 15 minutes to race 2, but there's some competitive races. Some good races at Del Mar. The stakes races are good at Del Mar.
Del Mar has been a pleasant surprise so far, the meet, I thought. I mean, it's been really good.
Yeah.
I think it's been better than years past, actually. Recent years past. So good for them.
Well, I like how they're kind of spacing it out a little bit with, essentially they get like a month off, right? Because they stop, at Santa Anita, then they run it at Los Alamitos, and Los Alamitos is just it's a different environment.
It's fair
right?
horses.
There's horses that are here, but it's a lower class. There's certain barns that point to that Los Alamitos meet, and they really pop. And there's some horses that are from Santa Anita. It's kind of like a different environment. But it's following it. It is interesting because there are barns that point specifically to Los Alamitos.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that because when you see those horses coming off wins, again, it's just form cycle stuff. So then they take like a week off before Del Mar. So essentially they have like that month break. The ship and win bonus has been good. Obviously the weather helps, keeping the races on the grass.
It's been great.
There's no Bob Baffert on the grass. There's those.
Yep. So this race, to go back, I was kind of, I don't know, I haven't seen the 4. He's getting money. Looks like the 8 is the one we were a little bit kind of fading on, right, Emily? Based on that race and extended.
Yes, and I don't like. Yeah, and if you missed it, we talked about the extended note. It's the horse reacts negatively to the whip, was like flashing the tail when they were not only just hit with the whip, but also being shown the whip. So that's a little bit of a negative, especially with the drop. In there is one, and they're showing it right now, the one horse, and we didn't talk about her, but I think that she is kind of interesting in here because this barn can pop with live horses, and she's sitting at 10-1, so taking some money. It was a 15-1 morning line. Bill McLean, I believe, already does have a win this meet. I think won yesterday, I want to say. So it's had a couple horses that have popped. And I know this one does have a longer work tab, which can be a negative, but also in this case, it might be the fact that they did want to wait till Del Mar for whatever reason.
Okay. I didn't see the one yet. One doesn't look fit to me, but we could.
I thought she looked fine.
Okay, you're better at that than me, but I just thought she.
Well, it was the angle that I saw too. We'll see her when she gets on the track, but yeah.
Oh, 3's acting up in the settling area there. I love that paddock, right? That's where I think we've been there a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
What was that? We were there for that Pacific Classic that time with the Jim Rome horse, and another name that.
Shared Belief.
Yeah.
We're there for Shared Belief and also for Beholder. Remember we were watching Beholder on the roof?
Yeah.
And I think you, Frank, and I all at the same time were like, "Holy shit, she makes that move!" I was like, "Oh god,
I think she's one of my favorite horses of all time. Because I mean,
really,
yeah, because I mean, she did things that like, so she was like, first of all, it was like the best training job. Okay, I got somebody who's actually at Del Mar. Let me see, I have the 1 in 4. Okay, I don't want to get their information now. Okay, good luck. Okay. So anyway, they're listening to us at Del Mar, and they they say we sound great. Okay, so so I think it was the best trading job he ever did. So he had a horse at 2 years old, and she was a speed freak, Emily.
Yes, she was.
And she ran against that other speed freak that Bob Baffert has, and I don't know if she won the Breeders' Cup at 2, I think. So she won that. She won that race at 2, and I'm like, okay, whatever. She's a nice speed horse. Don't see much. And then she ran in the Oaks, and it was that crazy race where it was so much speed, and she ran. I was like, oh, she's real for real. She able to hold second, and Princess of Silmar, who was a great plot. And I got the old plots. That was like back at whatever. It was like the pre-plots of this. It was like, on graph paper and stuff. And we gave to some of our clients, we gave Princess of Silmar out. She was 30-1 or some crazy thing like that. But anyway, I was like, okay, I'm really impressed with her. And then she just developed so nicely. And he just took his time with her up until that Breeders' Cup. And then, she won the Breeders' Cup. And then the fact that at age, well, I don't know, it was 5 or 6, she looked done. I mean, the Pacific Classic, one of the most impressive races that, a filly ever ran in any race, especially that kind of caliber race. And then when she looked like she was done, she came back and she won the Breeders' Cup again. That race where we watched 100 times, we still thought she finished second. But I mean, she just showed so much grit. I mean, like the fillies, once they kind of go, like you think they're going downhill, you thought she was done, and for her to come back and win that last Breeders' Cup, I thought was really something special. She was really one of my favorite horses of all time, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And he developed her from that speed freak at 2 to just just a classic distance filly who beat the boys. I mean, really impressive. She was really impressive. I would have loved to have seen her against American Pharaoh in that Breeders' Cup that year before she got scratched. I think that would have been some race. I think she would have gave him a run for his money that day.
Yeah.
He had nobody to deal with that day. He had no speed or anything like that.
Yeah, my favorite horse was in that race.
Yeah. Who was that? Wait, who's your favorite horse?
No, one of my favorites.
Who?
Honor Code.
Honor Code, yeah. Well, you're still living off that Met Mile, right? Was it the Met Mile?
Oh, the Met Mile was amazing. His Met Miles.
It was like a freight train. I mean, that kind of reminded me of Forgo when I was young, because he was one of my favorite horses of all time, Forgo. And, that kind of reminded me of him. And that was like a freight train coming down.
That was another one when he makes that move. You're like, oh, just by how much? Just hold on. Hold on. This horse is running.
So we have one of our clients. They have the 1 in the 4th race. So he's the owner of this guy. Good guy. And he's at the track. So let's take a look. Hey, what was this 4th race? I'm just trying to think of.
4th race is the race that I was pretty.
Yeah, we like the 4. Yeah.
But then you said you'd back up with the squares, and the 1 is a square.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the 1's a square? No.
Deep closer. Yeah, in race 4.
Oh, yeah, yep. Well, good luck. Good guy.
Yeah, that's
he owns some horses, and he's really a nice guy and got to know each other from him using our stuff. And so I like to see good people win. We're rooting for him.
Yes.
Okay. So race 2, back to race 2.
We'll get a look at its post parade right now.
Yeah. I'm not keen.
I mean, if this horse isn't fit off that work tab, then this horse is never going to get fit. That's all I have to say.
They usually aren't. They usually don't get fit from the work tab.
That is also true. So Leonard Powell has what? It has 2 horses in here. No, just the one. The 2 horse, the second type starter. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I like the 4. Four's got some size to her. I don't know this is. So we know the 3's acting. Now the 5's acting.
The 3 and the 5, both the Peter Miller horses are being brats.
The 6 looks pretty good, actually.
That's the stablemate to the 4.
Yeah.
The 6, a
little sway back for me. 8 looks a little toey.
Yeah.
Right. This is the one you said got the issues with the tail, right? So
with the whip. Yeah.
I don't like. I don't like. To me, I like the 4. I mean, I still like the 4, and that was kind of the ones I was having.
Yeah, the 6. The 6 is the stablemate to the 4. I gave that horse a little bit of a look as well. Kind of as noted, this barn does typically win early, so this one didn't win early, but now
open company.
Pass. Talking myself out of it. Yeah.
Now an open company.
Yeah.
The 4 looked like, it wasn't like the 4 looked great. It's just that everyone else looks kind of nervous and anxious.
Yeah.
The 3, the 8, the 5, right? I mean, they just don't look. Or the other kind of firsters that were like, okay, whatever. Favorite, I wouldn't be comfortable backing this horse at 6-5. That's for sure.
Yeah, I thought the 7. 7, I went back and watched that replay because it was one of those that was at Ellis Park, and it was one that was on a day that was speed favoring, and the 7 looked turfy to me as well.
Okay.
The 2 also is shipping in, and so that might have been a prep with the connections running at Horseshoe Indianapolis, because now they can ship and win,
I know, but that's such a different circuit. I mean, look at the, wow.
I know it's a different circuit, but if you're never meant to race, then I don't think it matters.
I guess so. Well, if we had that opinion, we would never bet the Horse and Turf Paradise in the first race, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is the 2, Jeff is saying, why is the 2 the second choice in the doubles?
That's a good question.
2 is the second choice in the doubles. I mean, 6-1 morning line.
Does Maury have a connection with Powell? Because that was, this horse.
Well, it's the same. It's the same ownership group.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Maury is allowed to train out here.
Oh, okay. Because that would go to like intent. It's a shift in barn. So, if the first barn had certain intent, unless the owner was involved and had intent.
Well, look at the owner is that California Racing. This horse had no business ever being at Horseshoe Indianapolis, other than the fact to dirty up the form and to run there and to come here for the bonus.
Interesting.
That's the only reason.
Maybe that's.
And they debut the horse around 2 turns on the turf. Trouble at the start. Nothing.
I mean, the thing is to me, the only horse that really showed any kind of speed in the morning was the 4, or showed any kind of speed. So,
yeah.
And it's 5.5 furlongs. You got Maldonado. I just think try to get this horse out. Goodbye. Because the horse looks like he's got a little bit. She looks like she's got a little bit of scope to her, like some size to her, versus some of these others too. So if she's quick enough, I think she may be able to maintain that lead. Looks like she has some stride to her at least.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of being the second choice in the doubles, I mean, the morning line, you figured that the 8 was going to be favored just because it's a horse that finished second with a solid speed figure on debut, and then everybody else was the other ones that had run. You know, they're a bunch of first-time starters. The morning line has like a bunch of horses at 6-1, 5-1, 6-1, with like 2, 3, 5, 7 are all that same number. The 6 is 8-1. So they all figured to kind of be second choice. The 4 was 3-1 morning line, but again, I mean, they could have easily stuck a 6 or a 5 on that horse as well.
And it could be the barn money. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
Like you said.
those connections bet Powell's been sending out live, so makes sense. But the key is, we talked about this in week 1, is like you get ahead of those trends, like the Powell horses that we, flew under the radar, that 8 horse that was a maiden, that won on the turf, that was second off, has improved that same form cycle pattern. Because now, after the barn was winning, everyone's like, oh, let's jump aboard, like O'Neill, finding those O'Neill horses that were in 10.
Oh, he's so trendy
in those first couple days, and now everybody's jumping on him. They're 2 to 5 points shorter than they were last week.
It's amazing how that works, but I mean, it's so true.
Yeah. Whoa, that 3 is being nuts.
Yeah, 3 is acting up the whole way.
Yeah. Getting a little manic and gait from me.
Yeah, manic. Another manic Monday. Ooh. Another Prince song. Okay,
no, that wasn't a Prince song. Was it? No, that was
the Bengals sang it, but he wrote it.
He wrote it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like he wrote that Sinead O'Connor song.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Incredible.
All right, they're off. The 4 showing speed.
Yeah.
7, but we know the 7 and the 8. We know about the 8. The 3, after all of her bad behavior, showing some run.
Yeah. Just another manic Monday. Ooh. 7's done.
Yep. That was a horse that looks. Oh no, not done yet. Coming back. There's the O'Neill. Drop back. Looked like it was going to be plummeting through the field. Finds another gear.
3's good to 3.
I know.
7's going to win this, I think.
The 8 doesn't like the whip.
Ooh, he hung on.
Yeah. The rider did not go to the whip on the 8.
The 3
did it once and then stop.
The 3 you want to watch next time if this horse behaves himself.
Yeah.
Probably an upgrade. 4 never got like separation. Couldn't get separation. Doesn't have.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
Well, onward and upward. All right. Do you want to look at that? Those Del Mar stakes?
Sure.
It starts on race 8 is the San Diego.
Oh, it's a good plot.
He didn't use the whip. I saw that, Jeff. I saw that.
You didn't use
Thought
the whip?
about it. Yeah, he didn't use the whip
Yeah.
on the 8.
Yeah.
Learn, live and learn. Yeah, it's a tricky plot, isn't it? This
Yeah.
San Diego.
You know, typically when I see a plot like this, you start from the left and go all the way to the right and try to make, like you go, okay, I'm going to start with the 10. That's the horse. And then try to figure out if, based on the form, cycle, all the other stuff, is the horse fast enough? That's the horse. If it's not, you just go to the next horse. I just find that, they do, they kind of, when it looks like this, they kind of run to this. That's why they're, more predictive. That's why they're green. They're more predictive, these plots. They actually, just behave that way. So that's kind of what I do. Just kind of start with the horse all the way to the left and then make my way all the way to the right, because that's the way that usually kind of flows. It's just kind of where it works out.
Because it makes sense, but typically I would just kind of look at it like I would like a normal plot and just say, okay, there's contention with the fire, a little bit of bunching. I wouldn't say any horse in this race, except for maybe the 3. Nine a little bit.
Yeah, 3 and a 9.
Or
maybe the 5. Or up
maybe
against.
the 5 and the 5 as well. The 5, yeah.
So
Those
3, 5,
outside of those, everybody else, just from a pace standpoint, could win from their position.
Yes, right.
And I'm being a little forgiving of the 4 just because the horse only has 1 local start.
Yeah, and it's still not terrible. He can sit there. I mean, that's his run style. It's kind of impressive. So,
right.
Yeah. So I'm with you. 3, 5, and 9. We don't have to spend much time on. Let's look at who's the favorite in this race, by the way. The 6.
6.
Plots pretty well.
Yeah, he's going to be a big favorite.
Okay. Is this at the right distance for him? We got shorter back here, so maybe it is. But I don't know, 8.5 furlongs last year in this race and couldn't keep up.
He was also a gate. What happened? Fractious in the gate, so could be a little forgiving.
Okay. And then no keep going 7. Rush lone. I mean, this horse could handle.
I feel like this horse is good, but he's also kind of dressed up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was kind of looking. I don't know if this horse was climbing because of kickback or what in the second race. They're the 2. Because I thought the horse galloped out pretty good. I don't know. Maybe it's a turfer or something like that. I don't know. I gotta look at it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I saw it early too. Like the horse was like high headed, and then they moved outside and kind of found a little bit more.
Yeah, just wonder if he was getting some kickback or something. Yeah, it looks like he might be. Look at the head on. Yeah, he definitely is.
I don't think it's kickback as much as it is. I think it's the horse.
Could be, but I thought there was definitely.
Let's watch the head on together.
Yeah.
The 4 kind of looks turfy a little bit to me.
He's going to need a lot cheaper than that horse.
Yeah.
I don't like that race. I think it's a weak race.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with the 2 is like, I feel like that horse is just kind of cheap.
Yeah.
See, like right there, they're not getting kicked back, and the horse's head
No,
is
no,
up.
no. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was early. Let's see when he moves out here.
But he's still just kind of doing the same
No,
thing.
yeah. He's just green. He's just. I thought on the turn though. Yeah. Yeah, no. Maybe the 5 is getting some kickback inside of him. No, he never got kicked back. You're right. What was the final time? Did you note the final time for that race?
I didn't. Maybe they'll show it. If not, I'll go back and I'll watch the replay.
Maybe turf sprinting for that 3. Okay.
I'll watch it again in the morning. I'll do all the notes again in the morning with fresh eyes.
Okay, defunded. Okay, defunded is beat. So you're thinking defunded is beatable.
Yeah, I mean this horse.
Solid.
Say it. He's fine. He's capable to win this race, but he's going to be a short price, and maybe there's some others in here that, like we said, there's others in here that are not super compromised in terms of trip. If they're in better form and they're just as fast, you know.
Let me see the 10. Oh boy. Kind of a horse that needs the lead, which he might get.
Sprinter. He's a sprinter, no?
Yeah, he is. See what he's done routing. Oh, that's a mixed bag. Oh, he won was turfing. I mean, the only time he ran on the dirt routing, he won by 7 lengths.
Yeah, but that's a state bred
race. It's cheap.
Yeah. It was blown. It was gallop minus weak. Oh, good God. 5 horse field. Oh boy.
All right, I'm gonna beat him. Let's go to the 1. That'll be the next one.
Slow Andy.
Slow down, Andy. Andy, slow down.
It's more fun to say without the down in the middle.
Shorter. I like.
You had him last out. I mean, the note in the Met Mile.
Oh,
I thought he was live that day at the Met Mile because O'Neill had sent out some other live runners at Belmont. We had talked about this.
Yeah. Oh, Cody's wish. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shorter. This is 8.5 furlongs. It's like I don't know. I guess I don't know what his. I guess this is okay. You know, it just doesn't look like he's like he has an optimal. But he looks fine. I mean, second off a layoff. Should improve now.
He's.
I mean, like he's dueling in a grade 1.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to sit like a pretty good trip, don't you think? I think he just lets the 10 go and he's got an inside trip. Maybe gets like one of those pocket trips, no?
Possibly.
Yeah.
What's fair odds on this horse? 6?
Yeah, 5. I think. Yeah.
Morning line is 5.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Who's next? 6. Okay, look at the 4 and the 5. Next. Slog.
The 4 is sneaky. The 4 is sneaky to me.
That's just par for the course. You know, that horse coming from Europe, right? They always. He wasn't come from Europe, but I mean, they typically are just. I don't know what it is. They're just terrible first time in the States, away from the gate. So maybe that gets fixed. Was this a good race?
It's a 4 horse field.
He lost to the American.
The 5.
5.
He lost to the 5. Well, I don't like the 5, straight up.
Oh, but look at the prices.
What's that?
Look at the odds on that horse. even money in that race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this horse obviously he's got class, right? It's just, is he a dirt horse? It looked like he ran okay.
They tried him. I mean, that might have been why they tried him on the dirt last time. Is they figured let's try, and now they're going to run here. This horse to me is like you have to use him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's the biggest unknown in here that has the most upside.
5-1, fair or less than? I don't know how you can.
I feel like this is a horse that you'd want to see some money on him.
Yeah. He works.
Someone knows something about this horse.
Wow. Oh no! Look at this horse. It's classy, right? I mean, look at it. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Won at Ascot. I mean, early on in his career, and then Grade 2. I mean, this is. I mean, this horse got some class. I mean, this is a tough meet for turf horses. And he finished 5th. Let's see how many. I don't have the field size in this one. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I think they think that this is a dirt horse.
Yeah, missed the cut.
I just do. I mean, they tried him in the dirt. If he wasn't a dirt horse, they would have gone right back to the turf. But instead, they'd come here.
You see the works?
They might even want this horse in Pacific Classic. Who knows?
You see the works?
I did days ago.
Yeah, look at this. 1 of 121. But yeah. I would consider this horse contender.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe if he's like 4-1, it might be okay.
Yeah.
5
negative on the 5. I don't want any part of this horse.
What don't you like about him?
He's slow. His race in the 1 graded stakes race, he did make a move against the flow, but he was still just a C+.
Oh yeah, he's cheap. Yeah,
he's cheap. Yeah. He beat the 4-horse field last time with like a perfect trip. Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're good with the 4. The 6 looks legit, but too short of a price. The 1's a maybe at good 5-1 or better. The 2. Let's go with the 2.
The 2 is capable.
I don't like the form, right? The recent form. I mean, like 154 days out. 49, 37, 160, 61. Golden Gate didn't, around 86. I mean, yeah. I mean, he won this race last year.
That's what I'm saying. He's had those layoff lines in the past. I didn't like.
But look, I mean, he's running better than last year.
I know. I didn't like that Golden Gate race for him. I don't like any of his races this year. He wasn't a turf. He didn't really belong in that turf race. Coming off the layoff, it was probably a prep or whatever. Then they go in 9 furlongs. We've already kind of exposed this horse in terms of distance, that he's not a distance horse. So then that Golden Gate race, he was so washed out that day, and like look at he's never been washed out. Mm-hmm. He's never. Then the extended comment says this horse is heavily washed out. So it's not even just like, oh, he's got a little sweat here or there. Like his other past performances, like clean of warm. So I don't know. Maybe that wasn't. And that was just a weird race shape. So weird.
Slow. Man, so slow. It was like a weak race.
Yeah, it was like a week. And then the riders were all doing weird stuff. Like,
look at this. Look at this. I mean, if you consider that race weak, his last 3 races have been weak in weak fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm feeling the 4, anyways.
Yeah, I'm feeling 4. So 1 and 4 so far for me. That's. The 9, the 3, and the 5 we said forget about, and the 7's the only other horse we got to evaluate, right?
The 7's okay too. It's just a matter of trip, because his form is good coming into this race. His form is very good.
Yeah, against the bias last time.
Shorter. Always slog. He's always slog. That sucks.
Yeah. I would limit him to underneath with a plot that looks like that for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's 4-1, and then maybe 7 underneath. So I would play this. Right,
Okay.
good analysis.
Race 10 is another one. I think this race is even more kind of interesting.
Wow, this looks contentious. Even though like, the speed rate is low, but it looks like, I mean.
Well, should we jump over to race 3 and then come back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So race 3, we're at 11 minutes to post. Right now, the 1 is currently 9-5. Jeff says the 1 has all 3 straight tactics plus, all with Fracio. Have you ever given 4 straight? He's actually 4 of the last 5 races. Let's take a look. Yeah, he was like it was a tactic minus, but he does always get like a pretty good ride. It's just a step up in class for the 1.
I'm feeling like a 4 or 5 box here for me. Exact about.
Wait a second. I want to like respond to Jeff here about the 1, because he's asking about the 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean the one to me is just he's had those favorable trips as you mentioned, and then just this is a step up in class. See the purse. He's been running 38,000, 36, 40,000. Today's an $83,000 purse. So I mean, they can have this horse in 9-5. I will take this horse on. Where did you go? I lost John. Well, I know he wants a 4 or 5 box. That much we know. Okay. I was worried about you for a second.
No.
Just what I was saying about Frazier. Yeah, he's riding very well. But yeah, it's just I'm glad that you mentioned that, because as far as the favorite, I would take this horse on. And we can see on the plot, I know we just have the standard to really go off of, but there's no edge for that horse. I don't know. All right, let's look at the 4. Let's look at the 4 and the 5, because I'm with you. Those 2 are the most interesting to me. Do you want to talk about the 4 this time?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, so those 4 comes over from Europe, right? They're just better than us, especially on the turf. Fact of life. The Japanese may be better on the dirt than us too, but I don't want to go there yet. Okay, so Cowboy Justice runs first race at Keeneland. That's a good race versus better than he's facing here. Much better, kind of. I mean, just look at the Optics fig range. I would look at there.
Yeah.
Let me just look at I don't have a par for that one, but anyway. So I think I just think that's a good race. Comes back. It's a good first race. Comes back and they actually, even though the fig range little, this looks like a class rise to me, and just kind of runs.
It is a little bit just looking at the purse.
Yeah.
134, and it was also a 3-week turnaround. It's kind of quick.
Yeah, kind of quick. And it's very quick. And so he doesn't run such a great race. Now, this horse must have been doing something right if they laid this horse off, and just maybe they haven't put this horse in the right spot. This is kind of what we're saying, because the next race he's in a grade 2, and he runs a C, but he's only like 7 lengths. He didn't run that bad. I mean, he's kind of just went around the track, but it was okay. It wasn't like oh my God, this is just terrible. It's a grade 2 race, and I think that race was a pretty good race actually. I think it came back. I don't know how it came back, but I'll just take a look. Only one horse came back, ran 3rd. So I don't know what this horse did in that race.
What's the name of
horse? Ran a C and improved. And
what horse? What's the name of the horse?
Tut's Revenge.
Okay, so that was a horse that showed speed before fading.
Okay. He didn't show speed; just kind of went around the track. But anyway, I just think when you compare that race and the races he's been running in versus here, I just think he's got a class edge, and just numbers wise, he fits, right? And so if you just say, hey, he's going to go run back to like maybe the 91, right? He's got a good chance to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked about the purse, how it's a big jump for the one. He's been running for those $38,000 purses.
Yeah.
This guy's been running. That last race was a $400,000.
Yeah.
Purse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't compare. And then the 5. This horse is. I like this horse too. I just think that this horse. First of all, I mean, anytime you see a horse like with no red, that's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means,
his races at Del Mar are all really good.
Really good. I
mean, when you look at the notes, if you're looking at the running lines, you don't see it. But when you're looking at the notes, it's like his debut is better than look, B-, even though he finished 6th. Then he comes back and wins, B+. Then he's gate 3 weeks later facing winners. And he gets a close and an improve. Comes back to Del Mar on November 26th. Gets another B-, BTO, move, X-Flow. It's like this horse runs really well here.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, he looks good on train, doesn't look warm or anything like that, which is, he's had that issue in the, here he's warm, gate issues, like, let's see how he acts going through the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think everyone else, I mean, if you're beating the 1, I don't know, maybe the 2, but everyone else is a toss. Don't you think, Emily?
Yeah. The 3 is like a bomb to run underneath, just because he's getting back to the turf. But like class wise, he's below, but he's for underneath, he can get a share.
Yeah. I mean, again, this kind of shows the class advantage of the 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think the distance is going to be an issue for this horse.
Well, it's hard to hold it against one without holding it against every other horse in this field, because it's all pretty much unknown.
Yeah. Looks good in the warm up.
And the fact that the 2 isn't taking money is a negative, because this horse because he's the one I thought would take money, just because he has the experience at the distance, has D'Amato and everything, and he's cold on the board.
Yeah.
Negative.
I mean, if in a race like this, if the form hasn't gone completely sideways, a horse that has a big class advantage is a horse you want to play. Especially going long like this, you want to take those horses. Unless they're like really, oh my goodness, they've completely gone off form. But this horse isn't. I mean, he's run okay, not great, but he's run okay against much better. So. Yeah, I see right now. Just maybe would consider a 4 or 5 box, or just kind of using those 2 maybe horses in a double. I think you like the 2 in the next race, Emily, right? Was that one of your
the 4 in the next race?
The 4, okay, yeah, the 4. So maybe a double 4-5 with the 4, might be something that I don't know what the.
And then we'll just play the.
It's coming up.
40.
On $1? 1, 2.
Oh, sorry. Just it.
So it's 30 and for the 4. So I assume that's $1. 30 and 34 with the 5. So if maybe that's way getting 17 to 1 on your. I think it's maybe a safe way to see if you can get 17 to 1 on your horse that you like in the next race. Who's, I don't know, what's his morning line?
It's 4 to 1, but it looks like it's going to be
Obviously
the second choice.
Yeah.
Could be favored in the next race based on the doubles. Could be favored, but it doesn't look like they're going to be any worse than second choice.
But I think it's a good gamble, right? To maybe try to get.
Yeah. Even the pick 3, because we have some clever ideas in race 5.
Yeah.
If you're going even further with
you could play
11, 5, and then the 1 if you really wanted to get crazy.
Well, it's late in the West Coast. Late by you too, right? It's got to be
7 o'clock here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm used to it now because we had the last 2 night races at Hawthorne. I was geared up. Third start of the form cycle for covering evening races. But it helps. I'm getting dark out about 8:10. So at least that's not bad. I hate going home from work when it's dark.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Especially when I've been working from home for years and years.
Yeah.
Now you're making me go places.
Yeah, how's the neighborhoods you've been going? Good? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
I mean, everywhere's safe and dangerous.
Yeah, it's true.
Just depends on the time.
Yeah.
Usually I have my guard dog Frost with me too, so that's nice.
There you go. So I'm watching Hijack. We're down to the last one now. Been very exciting on Apple.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's been very good.
Oh yeah.
Idris, that guy Idris, what's his last name? Idris, Luther plays Luther.
Stringer Bell.
Idris something.
Stringer Bell.
What?
Elba.
He's
Stringer Bell from The Wire. He'll always.
Oh, I didn't watch The Wire. I didn't watch The Wire. My brother-in-law, because Kathy and I were like, why did we never watch The Wire? I don't know what it was. We never. I mean, HBO, right? That's what it was.
It's my favorite.
Everyone says it's a great show.
There's some season 2. There's some really, really, really good horse racing references.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's incredible. All 5 seasons, it's an interconnected story going through the 5 seasons. But each one kind of has a different theme, and so season 2 is the dock workers. It's all centered in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the main characters, dock worker, his dad is like, he's a degenerate, but he's at the OTB all the time, right? So it's like, come home and like, where's your dad? He's at the OTB, right? So go to go to the OTB, like, Dad, how's it going? And his dad goes like, Gulfstream is killing me. And you're like, nobody would say Gulfstream is killing me unless you've bet Gulfstream and you know that Gulfstream kills you. Like, it's like those type of references that I love. Okay,
that's true. That's so good. Man.
Because it's like you have to know, to have that line in there. But yeah, the Wire's great, and it still holds up, which is with a lot of those movies. Yeah, it's good. You guys you'll enjoy it.
The other guy that my brother-in-law told me was in there, the guy from Boardwalk Empire, Chalky. The guy that died recently, they overdosed.
Omar, yeah, his character's great. That's all I'm gonna say.
I used to love that guy. He played in a lot of different things. It's what a damn shame. Okay, so we got looks like the 3 favorites kind of like controlling.
Yeah, you can stop the race.
Yeah, one's getting the trip here, getting the pocket.
I don't care. I don't like the 1. The 1 can have it favorable all he wants. I don't like this one. I feel like Steve Davidowitz right now. Class on the turf.
How's he doing? He's still around?
R.I.P. He died a few years ago.
Oh my God. I'm a little behind on that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, and I say a few years ago. It might have been more than that. It might be like 5 years now because it was pre-COVID, I believe.
Oh God. I remember he was trying to get the pick 6 tickets thing, syndicate going. And one time when I saw him, one's tripping out. So you have to let's see. See if the 4 on the front can kind of hold it together here. Whoa, bumping. Oh, the 1's got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
darn it.
tripped out.
Ugh. Very wrong in that race. Oh well.
Yeah.
Turn the page. And the 6 ends up getting second. Who's the 6?
Explain this audit. Bomber. The 4 really.
Okay.
You know, this graphic course too. I don't like to be forward and pressing. I just don't like that trip.
Yeah. Well, if anything, we kind of knew is that the 2 was a complete pass. Yeah. That horse was.
I just didn't like.
Nowhere to be found.
One. Obviously, the 1 puts himself in position. That's another perfect trip for that horse. I mean, obviously, he's good enough to put himself in position. You know, sometimes you can't read that completely as a negative. You see multiple. I remember, you know, someone was asking, right? How many in a row? I think we had a Songbird. What was that name of the horse? Songbird. Is that the Jerry? I'm trying to think.
He had that one. Yeah, Songbird.
Yeah, Songbird. Yeah, that horse.
Yeah, she's the one that finished in the photo with the holder.
Yeah, red, all red, because that horse always put herself in position to win the race. So, you know, when a horse just has the ability, you can't knock it. But typically, like, you know, they had an advantage in that race, but they always have an advantage. It tells me they're really good. 6 was 20-1. Oh, that 4 was disappointing. Nothing. I thought the 5 was.
Yeah, both those horses. I mean, the 5 got bumped, but at that point that he got bumped. He had the opportunity to already draw off, and he wasn't. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's that. All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at this race 10.
A lot of big circles, a lot of congestion.
Yeah, it's a tricky plot, right? Because it's like you have all that contention, but the lower speed rate.
Yeah. I mean, to me, you know, you want horses that can kind of press and finish in here, like I guess the I don't know. Let me see the 4. This 4, let's see. Yeah, he could do that. Yeah. By the way, if you hover over this, you can see like what we do here is the run style. So what this tells me that hoist the gold. I don't know if you can everyone see. I don't know if Emily, can you see that on your screen?
No, we can't see that. No.
Can't see it. Okay. Let me see if I can go to the grid. Copa was right there. Let's see if I have it here. No, I don't.
What are you trying to show?
So if you hover over, I don't think you're seeing the hover. You know, I hover over, there's like a little gray box that pops up. And for some reason, it's not getting captured into the video. But what it shows you is that it's like how we build a run style. It says the good races for this horse is when he presses. All 6 races that he ran that were good were as a presser. And the farthest away from the farthest away from the second call was 3 lengths for this horse. It's like good information to have. Like it just kind of shows you a little bit more, like shows you kind of dimensions of the run style, how far the horse kind of needs to be, how close he needs to be to be competitive, right? So you know that's what unfortunately I don't know why this is not showing up on the video. Interesting. Yeah, I'm hovering over it. I got to work on that. But anyway, if you do that, if you go to the table to the right and you hover over the run style like the P, you'll see this thing pop up on your own screen. And like I said, it looks at standard, surface distance, and all the rest. And it tells me, like, so when I was looking for the 4, is I wanted to see if this horse, if he could run from more than 1 length or 2 lengths behind, right? So he can. Like, this horse won as a closer 1 time, as a presser 4 times. So he's really more of a presser than he is an E horse. So that his run style fits the plot. So that looks okay for me. And that's all I was looking at for the 4. Because if the 4 was more of an E horse, like he has to be within a length, I would like him less. But the fact that he can kind of sit off and close is a good thing in this kind of scenario. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's useful.
But also when it's showing surface distance in this case, it's combining those 7 furlong races, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So this is a different monster. That this is 6 furlongs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact is, he doesn't need to be close up. So I would worry more of, like, if it was he was coming out of 7 furlong races, and he only could win from like a length away versus he could win from 6 lengths away. That's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that does get tricky with a horse like that can sit back is the fact that he is inside in kind of that bunched up early and with the rail draw.
Here's just 2 6 furlong races. Pretty good. But
wait,
it's cheaper. What?
Okay. I thought you were talking about the 1.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the 4.
Oh, the 4.
Yeah. Well, what's your approach on this race? Oh, you just looking at it for the first time, like us? Like
No.
Okay.
No. I've looked at this race.
Okay.
I've looked at this race.
That's that horse 9 years old now. It's amazing.
Yeah, to me, this race is competitive. I mean, the four is going to be probably favored. The morning line kind of, well, maybe not. I don't know. It's tough to say because the morning line has the 2 at 4-1, the 4 at 4-1, the 7 at 4-1, and then the 11 at 7-2. And I have no idea which. I would guess that the 11 or the 4 are going to be favored. That it's probably not going to be the 2, and it's probably not going to be the 7.
What's fascinating is we got a greatest stakes sprint that has this many horses in it.
12, yeah.
Right?
And seemingly competitive. I guess the reason that I was talking about the morning line thing was just the fact that I don't want to take any horse in this race at a short price because there's somebody that's right next to it that looks just as good. That's probably going to have price compensation.
The horses that just kind of intrigue me because they're like over on the right, because who knows if there's going to be this contention or not. But I always get interested in the horses, like horses like the 10 and the 6.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And let me just, because I thought there was a little intriguing too on especially the 10. I think this horse, you said he had tactics last time. What were those? On hold, and they were trying to win and compete by being favored. And then, that was the first leg off a layoff. And this horse, I mean, it's different class, right? But it shows this horse has
won this race last year.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about, I was just doing the kind of the pattern, the big layoff and then coming back. This horse improved, different class level at the time, but still improved well off of that. And he won this race last year from off the pace. So, I don't know. This horse was, that was it. And the 6 was a bigger price, right? I think the 10 is, what was the 10? 8-1. Bravo's off this horse, though. It's interesting because he's been kind of a rider unless that's changed this meet. That trainer jockey combo has been pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, they might have wanted to change after those last couple races. They might have said, we want.
Yeah.
You're a tactic minus at this point.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Could be. Could be.
The six is interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, he just.
So, and it goes back to January in the Pegasus race, because when we were handicapping that race, we're like, this horse is an outsider in this race. I mean, you just looked at his previous races. He was better shorter. He was like a 1-turn horse. So that race, like, it was dumb. Like, it doesn't even count. And then that race, the Pegasus race, was like so live. Like, every horse came out of that race to win. I'm going to pull it up. Proxy, White Abario, Defunded, Last Samurai, Cyberknife, Stiletto Boy. Not Cyberknife, but he was retired. But Stiletto Boy, like, everybody came back and won. Like, five next out winners from that race. And this one improved, but he had that trip that you can see in the next start, right? Wide, X-flow, move, gallop minus, cold.
Yeah.
And then they wheel back in like 3 weeks at Keeneland, and he's still holding his form. He just has trouble start. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened that day in terms of trouble start. I don't know if he stumbled or he got bumped or whatever, but he just looked like they were ready for a reset, and now they show up here. And it's like, this horse is like a graded stakes sprinter. He had a B- in this race last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, he's worth a shot in this race, especially at that price. Like I said, you see
Mike Smith is riding this horse.
Yeah. He's rolling late on the mic.
Yeah. That's wild.
Rolling late. So, yeah. Anything else in this race? What about this 7? Oh.
Might be a little soft class-wise. Maybe.
Well, he's grade 2. Grade 2 placed, right? I mean,
I know, but it's only
slightly raced too, so maybe there's. Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit more of a congested trip this time, I think.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to work harder to work out a trip, and I guess that may be an issue.
And he's one of the 4. That's that 7-2, 4-1. Let's look at the 11, because the 11 is the morning line favorite. Lukewarm, 7-2 morning line favorite.
Oh, it's because of the Breeders' Cup second, right?
But he's been kind
of hasn't. I got grit here for a C+. Why did I do that?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird note.
Well, hey. What happened was it looked like he was done, and he re-rallied for 5th. That's the note. But maybe he's not to where he was last year. Oh, last year. I'm sorry. It was a 500, whatever. When he's not the same guy.
As a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Give it another shot. Yeah, I'm going to bet him as a favorite. It's lukewarm, right? He's 7-2. Is he working? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know how to. Nothing's jumping at me other than the fact that everyone looks kind of bunched up. And
what about the 9? It's kind of a weird horse coming in.
Yeah, second of all, strong race. Wanted to buy.
He's like won everywhere. He's won at Saratoga. He's won at Pimlico. He's won at Gulfstream, Tampa, Maidan,
Yeah.
Aqueduct, Keeneland.
Yeah. He was going good there for a while. Then he had the layoff and ran. I guess this generally is a pretty good non-graded stakes.
Oh, we're seeing a couple. That Gunite horse is running tomorrow at Saratoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in one of the stakes tomorrow at Saratoga.
Oh, Gunite. Yeah, he's a good horse. You know, he's going to win tomorrow, my opinion. Here's the thing with Gunite too. I was so mad. It was like, I think it was.
I know when you're mad at the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, the Breeders' Cup. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But like, why? Why me?
Yeah.
Why was he not in the sprint? I mean, he would have demolished that field.
Yeah.
But okay. I was waiting for that because, like, I was predicting that back.
I know. I was gonna say. I think I probably had the text message from like February of you saying Gunite's gonna win the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And I'm like, yeah. Wait till they draw the race. I've seen this text before.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy.
That's how I knew when you were like, "This horse is gonna be bad." I was like, I know exactly why. I know why.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, that's a strong race. Anything with Gunite is a strong race because he's like one of the best sprinters in the country, if not the best right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this race is tough.
It's tough.
This is a tough race.
Yeah, I got no strong opinion. I'll leave it to you.
My strong opinion is just who's ever the first choice or the second choice. Both of them.
Out.
Get out. Get out. Somebody's going to be an overlay.
You start your handicapping with 5-1 or above. If the horse is 5-1 or above, he's still in. If he's below that,
exactly.
Throw him out.
Yep.
People would never do that, right? I mean, right? I mean, not most people would be against doing that, right?
I know, and it's so funny because like I get asked to do that, right, for work. It's like, do your picks for this race, and it's like, I'm not gonna give picks for this race because that's what I would write up. I would write up is ever fine, and that's the correct answer to do it in advance, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so where are they? 4 or 8 minutes out.
Yeah. Do you want to sign off after the race 4?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We'll still like we have this was the race where we were squares. Other than we kind of like leaned on the 4, right? As the key.
Yeah, force 2 to 1.
Yeah. So the squares, if you think the 4 is like solid, Emily, maybe you can make money in exacta. Who are the other squares in this race? We have mentioned the 1, our buddy's horse. 6 is 5-2, so I wouldn't include him.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like him any much better than him. The 8's okay. 7's another price square, and the 1 is. So I don't know what the exact is with those horses would be with the 1, 7, 8, but why not? I think the other thing before we sign off those to mention, people maybe join late, take a look at that 11 in the race 5. There's some others in here that looked okay, we mentioned, but that was
11 and 5.
The 5
is going to be shorter than the 11. The 11 is going to be a bomb.
5 and the 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what that need the odds board. The 411 double is paying 178 for 2.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to play. That's what I'm playing.
Send it in. That's a good double. What's the 4-5 playing?
13. So for 2, so 7 to 1. So no play there.
Really?
Yeah, 411 is the way to go.
Oh yeah. What's the exact? I'll look at it right now. You want to see what 178 over the 4 over 178. Okay, let me change that.
Yeah. Ross, you want to come say hi? Ross, come here. Nothing.
This 4 is going to be a decent price, actually.
What's in what race?
The 4. He's not even the favorite.
Oh yeah, just clicked over. Yep. It was 2 to 1 a minute ago. Come here.
Okay, wait a minute. Back to 4 over the 178, and then a try 4-2. 2-4. 4-2. I mean 4-2 178.
No 6.
No.
No 6.
No, that's not the way I'm going to go. Two's okay too, man. But so we were like burst, and then we flattened out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of called it somewhat from the start that the sequence wasn't going to be as crazy, and kind of the best opinion was that 2 in race 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Just because we're the only ones that really had that information on that horse. I mean, maybe, especially if the workout reports were like kind of negative because the horse was all out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
Who
like,
cares?
this horse.
Who cares at 5 furlongs? You don't.
Yeah.
You want to be all out.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the horse is all out on the dirt, and it's a turf race. And that was the time. It's like that's the time you're going to find out if the horse is going to win or not.
Yeah.
If the horse doesn't win then, the horse is never winning. It was that day
Or he'll win back at Turf Paradise for 5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's no goal.
Yeah, he'll be a fade. He'll be a fade next out.
So if you own Turf Paradise, do you feel good now? Do you think you're going to get some more horse flesh from Golden Gate?
Well, isn't Turf Paradise closing?
Oh, now I mean, yeah, but I'm just long term. I'm talking about like they're gonna, they'll be open. No, they're closed, but they're gonna be opening in October. I guess that's when they open.
No, but I mean they're like closing. Like,
oh, they are.
Like Jerry Sims is going to close that place. Yeah.
He sold it. I thought he sold piece of it to a developer, but I didn't think. I thought those guys said they're going to commit to keeping the track.
Oh, then I haven't found out the most recent. So okay.
Who knows though? I mean, you could be right.
Yeah,
but that's what they said.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not so easy to just be like, I mean, California's a big state, and it's a different climate from northern to southern California. To just tell all the horsemen, all the people, and everything, just pick up your livelihood and move. down.
Oh no, man! I wouldn't say that they would do that, but I mean, where do they go? They got to go somewhere, right? And Santa Anita, California, doesn't offer a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's hard for those horsemen that are up in Northern California to like up and move.
Well, I think they got it. I mean, a lot of them probably end up out of business, right? They probably just sell.
Sure.
I mean, because it is. I mean, it's comparable to Turf Paradise. I would say Golden Gate, more comparable than Santa Anita, right? Golden Gate is to Santa Anita.
Yeah, because I mean, we'd see playing Turf Paradise, like when a Golden Gate shipper would come in, you're like, well, this horse has an edge. Yeah. Like even Golden Gate's in Turf Paradise, but it wasn't like, when the Santa Anita horses came in, they crushed. But
right. I remember, I remember Mike Mitchell when they brought a horse in there, Turf Paradise, because I think he knew Jerry and stuff like that, and the horse just like cruised, man. It's like one of our like crappy stakes races or something like that, like a low grade. And the horse was kind of an allowance type. It was a nice horse too, a decent horse. Yeah, just kind of like went to the front and it was like a workout. I don't know. We had the world record for a while for 6 furlongs, though.
We still do.
Is that horse still?
I looked it up recently because it came.
Twin Sparks is the name of the horse?
It was Twin Sparks, yeah, with Luis Medina.
That was the bias. There was a speed bias. Yes. That was a day. The last 2 races on Friday that day, and Saturday I swept every race. I ever did that. And then they came out with the bulldozers, and I'm like, no! I'm screaming from the place. It was one of the best days I ever had. I hit both, whatever races, pick races that I hit 2. I sent either pick 4 at whatever track I think was going at that time, Gulfstream or something. One of those, pick 4 there. Man, it was a day. One of those things. They're very rare.
All right, going in the gate.
It was, I think, Mike Joyce's brother who was running the track at the time, and I think he had the crew out there. He's out there actually dictating to them what to do, where to go. I'm like, oh, please don't do this to me.
Six, 4 ended up going off at 5-2. 6. The 1's traveling well for kind of our owners. Needs a little bit more oomph. 4's not winning.
No. 6 is going to cruise. Oh, here comes the 2. Oops. No way. It's over. He's moving like a winner.
Yeah, definitely pop, no keep is our trip notes for today's.
Yeah.
Pop, no keep.
Well, you got the last race.
That's okay.
No.
Yeah. Going forward, let's see. So race 5 we talked about. Let me just see if there's anything else on here. Race 6. Felt like there was something in there. They scratched the 10. I thought that horse had a big look. But there's a few others in there. I'm not crazy about the 5 Baffert's horse. It's okay. I know the note's kind of a tricky read. The 1 is coming off an X bias and trouble. And the 8 are the 1 and the 8 are alternatives. The 6 is okay. 1 8 1 8 6 5. Okay, race 7. Race 7. Race 7. Try to beat the 1. Could be tough, but the 4 and the 6.
Beat the 1. The 1's not winning that race.
Yeah.
1's not going to win that race. Yep. I'm just telling you right now. The horse has
Okay.
too good.
Yeah. So the 4 and the 6 are the ones. The 4 is incredibly good. It's just a matter of that horse is going to break slow and then getting a trip. And the 6 has varied form, but those are the 2, 4, 6.
Not going to 9 at all in that race?
I could upgrade the 9 just based on the plot alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna get too crazy. And I don't have a strong opinion in this last race.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then so again, if you're interested in Saratoga tomorrow, that pick 5, I kind of do a green report on and lay it out. So if you're interested, pick up the silver plan and you get it for free. I'll email it out tomorrow morning once we get the scratches so that we can get a more appropriate look at things the right way. And
all right, perfect. And then what are we gonna try for the same time next week, or maybe a little bit earlier? And
yeah, it all depends on let's talk about it. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
The only problem with the Del Mar early, these races could be iffy. The early races in a card, you know what I mean? Usually, typically, the late races. So maybe we just do it earlier and do Saratoga's late races that day, just instead.
That's what I was saying, and then we could talk about the first couple at Del Mar or something.
Okay.
Talk about the Del Mar card. But yeah,
all right.
Options. Cool. Okay, sounds good. Thank you everybody for joining.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for participating. Appreciate it.